So we want to just chew on some melanin facts and chem facts. It can be a very lovely evening. Thank you. Now, again, when the mother's egg is fertilized by the father's sperm, that ball of cells rapidly multiplies. It forms a thing called the pigmented pole. Word pigmented just means what? Black dot. Pole dot. So a black dot formed on the surface of a mother's fertilized egg. And those cells will then, the DNA will then develop into two, it will split apart and form two different poles at each end. Then those cells will divide, and then further divide. And again, will pass within the first 4 days from the mother's fallopian tube as the black berry, the morula, and then anchor itself to the mother's uterine wall of her life-giving womb. Another black dot. Now, while there, the first two hormones that are made when that morula anchors into the wall of the uterus is called a trophoblast. It makes two hormones, human chorionic gonadotropin, HCG. You know the hormone that you have a pregnancy test? It's actually looking for HCG. The other one is, guess what? Melanocyte-stimulating hormone, the thing that controls black pigment cells. So from day one, blackness is working, directing traffic, building the actual scaffolding and structure of the human body. Again, it is the blueprint. It is directing. It's telling DNA what to do. Melanin dictates to DNA what to do. Melanin precedes DNA. So that early ball of cells invaginates and forms a tube. The tube is called the neurotube. The outer layer around it is called the neural crest. The neural crest, from that originates the things that are later known as the pineal and also the melanocytes. Also from that neural crest region, we also have some other formation of things that become pigment sites in the so-called 12 pigmented brain centers in the brain stem and midbrain. We also have the formation of the optic cup from which the eyes form. But again, the pineal gland originates as these pinealoblast cells, and they later can become pigmented cells as well. The so-called pigmented epithelial cells of the eyes and the pigmented cells of the pineal. And you also find the pigmented cells in the inner ear of the ear itself. You could not see if you did not have melanin in your eye. Not in the outer eye, the iris, but in the inner lining of the eye. You could not hear if you did not have melanin in the inner ear of your ear. The hair cells that line that fluid-filled chamber, the stereocilia, sit over a thing that is called the stria vascularis, and that has melanin underneath. And as those as those hair cells move, as a result of a mechanical force coming through the eardrum and making the middle ears move and putting that fluid into motion, those stereocilia, depending upon where in that chamber those cells move, you have a certain nerve pulse generated that makes up the sound that you actually hear. So that your hearing is dependent upon it passing through that melanin layer. And when you have diseases like vitiligo or albinism, you have defects not only in skin pigmentation, but defects in vision and defects in hearing. Oh yeah, I know why you like that bass tone. I think I do. Because you can hear it. Somebody else just hears noise. Oh yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah, you can rock and roll with it. When it hits you, you feel a tingle in your spine that won't let go. It makes you rise up. Why? From the ear to the pineal gland, right quick. But somebody else, they have a shorter, what we call temporary threshold response period. They hear a sound. It takes a much longer period of time for their sensory apparatus to set up again, get a new sound. But you have a much shorter period of time, and also you can take it. Somebody else might hear it. They have a hard time getting set up for it, but the machine may break down on the other end, and they may get a permanent scar just by hearing certain bass notes.